to be talking a little bit about in-hand showing and doing a bit of a tutorial on what to do when in-hand showing, some of the mistakes you might make when in-hand showing, and really what the judge is looking for and how to best present your horse or pony. So Finley is a 15-year-old Connemara. We've not turned him out for showing or anything like that. Today it's just purely a tutorial on showing you what to do in the show ring. So the first thing we're going to talk about is standing your horse up for the judge, or in fact just standing your horse up at any point you're in the ring where the judge can see you. So this is an example of how not to stand your horse up in front of the judge. You can see it just makes Finley look a little bit narrow. It doesn't really do anything for his limbs either, and it also doesn't help if the handlers just stood around, not bothered and not working their horse and standing them up nicely. Ideally you want all legs slightly apart, especially the back legs, because when you stand the back legs together it can make the horse look very narrow behind. So I like to see a little gap between each leg if possible, and this way the judge can see all the horse's limbs from where they're standing. As a handler, I want to be stood in front of the horse, standing confidently, and until the judge comes to look in front of the horse, then I would move out of the way and stand to one side. I want to be getting him attentive, getting his ears forward and giving him something to focus on. You could have some grass if you're on a grass arena to pick up and flick, or even a bit of sand just to flick up and try and get his ears forward for the judge. So you're just constantly thinking about working your horse to make him look his best for the judge. At no point should you just be stood like this, chilling or looking over there. You need to be working on the way your horse is standing. Some horses won't stand this still, so it's just a case of moving them back and forth so they stand correctly for you as much as possible. So what happens in an in-hand showing competition is you'll enter the ring in walk, and the handler should be on the outside of the horse. So you'd be walking along closest to the fence line. You walk round and then at some point the steward will ask you to stop, and you'll all stop sort of following the leader with like a horse's gap between each horse. The steward will then come to the corner where you're stopped at, and she will ask each one of you to trot all the way around to the back of the line, one at a time. And this is your moment to shine in front of the judge. Following that, you'll all walk round again in a group, and the judge will bring you all in to line up. You'll then come and line up in front of the judge, and each one of you will get to come out one at a time and stand in front of the judge to do your presentation and walk away and trot back. At this point the judge looks at your horse's conformation along with their way of going for their breed or type. I will add in just a little bit of footage of Finley trotting up at the last show so you can see him at a show and kind of what you have to do in your little in-hand demo. So whenever you're trotting your horse up, you need to stay by the horse's shoulder, train the horse to move forward when you click or start running. To practice at home, like when I brought Donnie, he did not trot at home in hand at all. So I had a schooling whip and just practiced at home him trotting by my side until he understood the gist of it. You can also practice the standing up with treats or a lick at home, and then ideally you want to get to the point where your horse will just stand and listen to you without you needing treats or something to persuade them. So next we're going to talk about when you walk away from the judge and trot back, and some of the common mistakes you can make. So you'll stand your horse and present them in front of the judge. Make sure they're standing nicely. The judge might ask you questions like how old your horse is or the sort of activities you do with your horse. And then you will stand by your horse's shoulder, walk away in a straight line, teardrop at the bottom of your line. You can see I come out and then turn. I want to be pointing straight at the judge before I ask the pony to trot on, and then trot directly back at the judge. So if you've got a horse that might be a little bit bitey or grumpy, I would try and practice at home to the point where you can lead your horse and sort of have your reins here, so you don't have to be as close to them. And I'd also avoid giving them treats and things like that when you're doing it. But really with any sort of competition, the key is practice. So we try and practice in-hand showing maybe once a month. After I finish my ridden session, I'll just hop off and practice. Another thing with really young horses is they can push you into the fence line, which can be really dangerous and scary. It's really important when in-hand showing that you always have a cane of some sort. I kind of feel like this is a way to protect yourself if you need to. No, I'm not saying you need to beat the horse or anything. It can be just a little bit of a useful tool. You can use your cane to ask the pony to stand square by asking them to move their shoulders back. That works better with some ponies, obviously not with Finley. And when you're trotting around a horse that pushes you into the barriers, I generally try and use my elbow a little bit more as my own sort of space guard. And if they get a little bit close or they turn their head in towards me, I just flick the end of my whip at them. I'm not hitting them or touching them. I'm just giving them a warning to say, you know, stay out of my space. And again, it's just one of those things with practice. Like when I first got Donnie, he was very on me. He didn't want to sort of step away from me, and he didn't understand what I was asking of him. So we just did some lunging and groundwork, and then built up to doing in-hand work and teaching him to stand, to walk backwards, and just respecting my space. So when doing your in-hand showing, it is important to wear the correct health and safety gear. You don't have to wear a hard hat, but children should, and there usually is a rule about children wearing hard hats. But if you're an adult, usually some sort of flat cap or soft hat, you know, something smart to go with your shirt and tie and your tweed jacket. Also a pair of trousers. They look really smart, and they should be an opposing colour to your horse's legs. So Finley has white legs, so he should wear dark trousers. As a horse with dark legs like Donnie, I would wear light or a brighter shade of trouser, so it's easier for the judge to separate your legs and the horse's legs, basically. Also, you should wear a good pair of short boots or safety boots. A lot of people can wear trainers if they're running like these Welsh D's, and some people wear football boots if they're running on grass. It really is what kind of suits you. And you can either have your hair in like a ponytail or a bun. It really depends on what you're doing, but I do think whatever the class, you should have a pair of gloves, you should have a hat on too. If you've got any other questions about in-hand showing, please do just pop it in the comments, or you can message me on my Instagram page. I've also got another YouTube video on here somewhere about what to wear when showing if you need a little bit of help. Hope you have enjoyed this week's vlog, and hopefully it's been informative enough and you've learned a little something about in-hand showing. Hey Donovan, I will see you all next Monday. Thanks for watching, and please comment if you've got any questions. Bye. Say bye, Donnie. Bye.